How's it going, ladies and bros? I'm Bobby6 and welcome back to Pyre. Now, I believe we have one more right to go before our next liberation, right? Unfortunately, I think I'm getting a little bit sick, so I apologize if I stumble on my words more than usual, which probably wouldn't be noticeable because I do it so much already. So, just one more and then another liberation, right? I'm surprised how well we've done in the last one without Rookie. I didn't think we were going to do that well, but it was a success. Okay, let's land here for Pamitha. I think we're going to try and get Edwin freed in the next one, I think. You do your best to keep up with Pamitha as she delves into the steady currents of Underking Pass. She indicates that some of her winged sisters may be nearby to lend their aid. This is as far as you can follow, reader darling. Please excuse me for a little while. She swoops off, leaving you on your own. Some time passes, during which you can almost feel the downside encroaching all around you, and then... Well, that was certainly interesting. I suggest we get out of here. It would appear the Tempest soon will have a little accident that should dampen their spirits. Oh, that is harsh. We're sabotaging them? We didn't need to do that. We're going to win anyway. Pamitha is staring out the window as you approach. I miss flying, reader darling. Take it from me. It feels as good as you'd expect. It is not enough for those Commonwealth brutes to cast us down here. If they can get their fingers on us, they make sure we never fly again as we once did. All while calling it an act of mercy. Let me ask you something, You've learned a thing or two. What have your studies taught you of my kind? You share a common ancestor. That'd be good. You understand that long ago, there was only one tribe. They flew together and conquered the known world, but some of their descendants were born different. These wingless ones had little choice but to tend the land with their hands of flesh. Over time, the wingless were disavowed, abandoned. It is said that they were born under dark stars. In time, they formed the Empire, and they fought back. Not all the winged and the wingless were at odds, and famous harps such as Saint Triesta Tithys proved kinship could be possible. Nonetheless, old hatreds are not easily assuaged. This is a fairly accurate of our ancient account of things. So in a manner, you yourself are brother to me. My kind certainly aren't known for their good sense of humour, I can tell you that. My little tongue got me in no small amount of difficulty till I learned to keep it well under control. The mountains I come from, the views there certainly are something, but there's a bleakness to it too, being surrounded only by those consumed by the desire to avenge. We're very proud like that, everybody vying to be the strongest, to kill the most of you. That way, we might just get a shot with the prince. Continue the line, if he even exists. Imagine that being the best case scenario, darling. She shakes her head. Anyway, I was just thinking I rather enjoyed the travelling we've done. The change of scenery does me some good. Perhaps I'll stick to wandering after all this. In fact, I have a fancy for some wandering right now, if you'll excuse me. She heads out of the wagon into the steady currents of the Sea of Solace. Cool. Now let's continue our journey. Time to kick the Temper's ass, especially considering we haven't played them since the very beginning. Ignarius is such a tool though. Such a tool. A messenger imp with news and rumours from the other side comes huffing towards your wagon, here in the undulating waves of the Sea of Solace. You let it in and offer some light refreshment, as Rookie would have done. The imp's message turns out to be about him. You learn Rookie's past transgressions have all been forgiven since his return to the Commonwealth. He was even offered a well-appointed home and place of business. It must have represented just the kind of lavish lifestyle that Rookie always claims to have had for himself and his extended family. Eventually, and somewhat reluctantly however, he refused the gifts. Instead, he tracked down Volfred's agents and gave them ample information, thus emboldening their ranks. The last bit of the message sounds as though it was transcribed word for word from something Rookie had said. It simply reads, "The rest of you better get back here soon, or else." You thank the messenger for the report. Soon, it has all your companions talking. Tizo is happy to learn that Rookie joined the revolution in the Commonwealth. It seems that Greentail has had himself a conscience after all. I have every faith that our friend Rookie will stand tall and rise to the occasion. The days aren't quite so bright without him, though it sounds like he's doing well out there. Hard to believe he would have turned down living in that kind of luxury, though maybe he got used to it out here. Ah, the noble Rookie! He sets a shining example unto us all. We understand Ruki holds no small degree of influence, at least among his kind. The news of Ruki's liberation fills you and your fellow exiles with newfound resolve. The messenger imp accepts some scraps to eat from you and rushes off. +1 hope. Well, we needed it. Because this is probably actually going to be really hard. I still think we're going to win, but it's probably going to be really hard. Let's do it. Typically, Jodariel is always among the first to start making preparations for the rites, just as soon as you arrive amid such places as the immeasurable depths of the Hulk of Horus. This time, however, she doesn't assist the others. She has not even donned the raiments. Your concern is noted, reader, but it is misplaced. It is only that, the one we are to face this time, Ignarius. We denied his liberty before. It seems almost cruel to set him further back. How absurd that I should even care. It is simply that I seldom see those with features similar to mine, those who have survived here long enough to earn their horns. I shall go now to prepare. Soon as nightfall and the stars begin to shine. Here we go. We do this one, we win this one, and then we get our shot at the liberation again. What is this one? That's new. I don't need to rank up faster, everyone's already a high level. We're fine. People are starting to max out for fuck's sake. So we don't need any more advantage to push forward. We got this.
The time is nigh, you exiles of the Night Winds. The 8 scribes summon you to the Hulk of Horus. The adversaries you are to confront shall be the Tempers. Extinguish now their pyre, and glory shall be yours. Now prepare yourselves.
Huzzah! We got this. Hey. Well, if it isn't Curly Horns. Surprised they didn't let you out already. Not that I'm complaining. Was hoping I'd run into you again. See, when you've been stuck in here for about 14 years, not that I'm counting or anything, you gain some appreciation for the simple stuff, you know. Bit of a cool breeze, a solid meal. Anyway, it's good to see you in one piece is all. Jodariel removes her mask and stares at him. Why are you doing this? We have a rite to conduct. Yeah, well, I've conducted a lot of rites, you know. Fat lot of good it's done for me. Yet here you are again. Yeah, anyway. He throws on his mask. Guess we better get things started. Our kind, we got a reputation to uphold. Jodariel watches him for several moments, then rejoins your group. Here we go. Our adversary, Ignarius. His heart is not in this. We should be able to prevail against him without difficulty. But you want him to win, don't you? Why do you keep calling us that? It's not very fucking nice. Alright, Gilman. Kinda want to use these new rings now, because I keep forgetting to use them. Can we power them up? No. Okay, good to know. Gilman.
Sir Gilman.
Bertrude. I'm gonna keep yours as it is. Alright, Hedwin. You're back in this. What does this affect? Recover all stamina after grabbing the orb. That's really good. But I'm gonna give you the other ring to match with Gilman.
Edwin. Very well.
Ignarius, he's supposed to be the best. Bring it on then, Nightwings. Let's see you beat me again. I don't know if without difficulties are good. It's something that is actually the case. Apparently we're going to be able to beat him without difficulty. There we go. Holy crap. Their Pyre has 130 power. That's boatloads. No!
Wherever did the Night Winds go? devious maneuver.
Oh, you bastard.
That's it. The fire of resolve.
Gilman's back now, son. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when Gilman comes for you? Okay, I'm a little bit scared. Alright, here we go.
Headwind plunged into their fire.
Nice one, Hedwin. Nice one. Alright, Gilman.
The flames of freedom.
We just keep jumping the gap and they're not ready to defend like that.
Your pyre burns brighter for the while.
Okay, okay. There we go.
Pyre shan't survive much more of that.
Good one, Bertrude. That's how we do. Arr, you Nightwings. You've been practicing, ain't ya? Of course, we've been doing it non-stop since we got here. And what about you, Iggy? You just a washed-up old goat. You're through. How long are you gonna keep at this, getting weaker and weaker, worse and worse, huh? Come on then, Nightwings. Finish it already, will ya? Sooner we wrap this up, sooner we all can catch some shut-eye and put an end to this damn day. Too easy.
Flame has died a little.
Gilman's fucking destroying your shit out there. Okay. Go.
So it is.
You have 5 power left, son. What you gonna do now?
No more than a lick of flame remains. And it is done.
Nice. Bertrude is the best.
Night winds prevail. Most excellently done this time, I must admit.
You're welcome.
Thus end this night's proceedings.
Well, Curly Horns, what can I tell you? Guess you Nightwings still got a spring in your step. You could have prevailed. Why did you hold back? You really want to know there, huh? Indulge me. Sure. You free tomorrow night? Jodariel scoffs at this. She dons her mask. Then she turns and walks away from him without another word. Ignarius simply stands and stares. Damn. Oh, he's got the hots for Jodariel.
Is there greater knowledge to be gained?
Level up? No matter what anyone says, I refuse to think that there's some sort of limit to one's understanding of all this. They limit at level 5. There is a limit. A very clear one. Okay. If Hedwin jumps into airborne adversaries, he banishes them. Damn, that's good. That'd be good against the fucking harpy ones. Yeah, let's grab that. That's right, his effects usually boost everybody in the team.
And be inspired.
Gilman's already maxed out. Gilman's already too powerful. Bertrude's nearly maxed out too.
Until the stars align.
Damn. Huh? Someone's there sneaking around. Show yourself already. He stands there for a moment saying nothing then. This was a mistake. He leaves him just as soon as she arrived. Hey, hold up. Curly Horns, wait. Wait. She keeps him waiting there. Ignarius just shakes his head, and he keeps waiting, but there is little else for him, there in the downside. He keeps waiting, but not for very long. Not for very long. Interesting. Well, that's another win under the belt, and it looks like it's time for a liberation rite. They might get to free another one in this episode, that'll be good. Things are speeding up. After you prevailed against the Tempers rather decisively, there is little time for you to rest as yet. The night beckons, and the next rite reveals itself to be a vital one. It is already time, reader. Come see for yourself. The coldness of the season now presents us another chance. He heads out straight away, and you follow in turn. Indeed, among the remaining stars, you see one, which you are familiar now burns ever brightly. Here we go. Yep. Solium. Do we know who we're playing against? Chastity. That's right. We haven't played Chastity since the first run. Should be interesting. I remember they were quite good too. Already are the Nightwings summoned back to Mount Elodial. Picture the rights as a wheel broken free from a black wagon. It is turning uncontrollably and shall soon reach a sudden stop. We should have several chances left for someone to go free, either us or else our adversaries, but not both. What is at stake each time is further complicated now, I must admit, knowing we have so few opportunities remaining. Those whom we can send back to the Commonwealth, should our plan somehow fail, they may look back upon their exile with fondness. So returning to the Commonwealth is not inherently a mercy, I don't think. Moreover, there are also those among us whom we count on to prevail in the rights. I know, we let Rookie go last time. We need them on the Nightwings just as much as we need them in the Commonwealth. We cannot simply grow our numbers here given the circumstances, and so, who stays, who goes? These choices affect us all. No pressure there, my boy. Now I don't know about you, but I shall go and take my leave for now. Let's set forth again at daybreak. Alright, who we got to talk to? Bertrude. You find Bertrude asleep or perhaps in a deep trance, or even you sense nothing from him. Hedwyn notices as well and joins you to check on her. Haven't seen her like this before. She's barely breathing. She's not responding. He leans in for a closer look when... Halt thine advance, knave. Dare thee to disturb our slumber. I'm terribly sorry, Bertrude. The reader and I, we were just checking to make sure you were alright because of how we saw you there just now. And how exactly didst thou see us there just now, well, you appeared to be dormant, or perhaps... Didst thou think we had simply perished here, perchance? Crumpled over in our ancient age? A weakling, barely clinging to this wretched coil? No, I mean, maybe. I sincerely apologize for having disturbed you, Bertrude. I know this all must be an adjustment, having to be around someone like me, maybe the others too, if there's anything we can do to make you stay more comfortable. We shall not yield to thy flirtations, boy. Flirtations? Wait, no, I... Know that our heart belongs already to another, boy. Thou knows nothing of our ways, whilst waking or in a dream. Thus do we advise thee ample caution in thy further interactions, lest we use thee as a subject for our sorceries. However, we do appreciate thy flattery. Thine advances make us feel a young tad once more. We were among the most sought after of our kind within the southern bogs. Wisely, Hedwyn remains silent. Thou art free to depart now, my boy. Hedwyn turns to leave, but... Know that we do appreciate thou taking time to check upon us whilst we dream. And know that our stay amongst ye has been comfortable enough thus far. Thank you, Bertrude. Thou art welcome, boy. Despite the oddness of the exchange you witnessed, you sense that Hedwyn and Bertrude gained a better understanding of each other. Nice. Alright, well, let's roll out. Hopefully we get this liberation right done in this episode, so let's fucking do it. Let's go! We don't even have to go very far, we're still up north already. We didn't go very far from here. A little bit further, is it? Nearly there. There we go. We got Emperor's Fall. Jodariel wants to land there. And Volfred wants to land there. Let's land here for Volfred, I guess. You make landing upon Mount Elodial, where Volfred pulls you aside while the others complete the post-flight inspection. He puffs at his pipe before speaking up. Reader, as you know, I wear the raiments once again. This means that I, myself, may soon be worthy to regain my freedom in the eyes of the 8 scribes. Know, however, that it is not my wish to go just yet. It is true I could be some benefit to our plan back at the Commonwealth, but I feel my place is here, for the time being. Perhaps once the Nightwings are on surer footing in their path, my time shall come. Those are my feelings on the matter, and I wanted you to know. I shall of course defer to you. Our path is not to contradict the reader's will. Anyway, I trust that all of us, yourself included, shall find our freedom. If not soon, then by when all of this is over. Alright, who we get to talk to? Jodariel. Jodariel has since seemed more reserved even than usual since their confrontation with Ignarius and the Tempers. Nonetheless, she addresses you. Tell me something, reader. Back where you came from, did you have someone whom you considered close? Sure. Let's say yes. You mentioned briefly to Jodariel about a past relationship that meant something to you. She shows no reaction to the details, but you can tell that she's listening. I see. I had someone as well. It is something which did not end well. But there were times. She trails off. We had our times. She looks up at you then. That Ignarius, he is a base fool. We have not a thing in common, save a set of horns. Yet here I am drawing comparisons with how I felt at times back in the Commonwealth while speaking to you of him. I am a little old to have such thoughts, reader, especially in a place such as this. Thank you for your time. Do not reveal this to the others. It is a trifling matter, and not to be of anyone's concern, especially not mine. Tell her we care for her? You admit, not with some degree of difficulty, that you've grown to care for her yourself. You understand full well how Ignarius must feel. You knew from the first you had never met anyone like her, but you could never surmise to the degree which this turned out to be true. Jodariel says nothing at first. Brave of you to say. Such flattery. How brave of you to say. In turn, and as this conversation demonstrates, I have come to value your kinship. But we shall have to draw a boundary there for a variety of reasons. I know that I am not being delicate, but you and I both understand, I think, how feelings operate. Please forgive me mine. I care for you, and I am grateful that you care for me. She departs with a nod. You sense her mood grown darker for the moment, not because of anything you said, but because of how she knows she made you feel. Well, I didn't mean to say it like that. I mean, you know, comradeship and all that. Having completed the post-flight inspection, you and Volfred visit the monument of Trieste Tithys, here in the Emperor's Ascent. Aurelek, was this somehow your doing? You who cursed the scribes and the stars themselves? I pray for you this time, and if the scribes will for the rites to be ended, then we shall have to work with that. No setback shall be insurmountable. Soon he has finished paying his respects. You return to the wagon in silence, feeling as though Trieste Tithys has shown you favour. You shall soon ascend the mountain, though there is time now to pursue your vocations. Cool. I think we just do the mentoring as per usual. To be honest. Push some of the lobies up a bit, like you there, Volfred. Certainly, I would appreciate your point of view. You and Volfred discuss the meaning of the rites at length, developing a deeper understanding of this contest created to determine the worthy from among all those pitted against each other. Nice. I suppose that if we had no doubts or misgivings to weigh upon us from time to time, then keeping hold of faith would not be such a necessary part of all this. Good point, I suppose. Let's continue, because we're running out of time for this episode. I'm determined to get this next liberation right in. So this might end up being a reasonably long episode, but we'll see. Let's just push through it. En route to the mountaintop, you pass by a monument to Lou Sklorian, and Bertrand happens to take notice. Ye ancient gods who flit among the stars, grant thy boon on Sandalwood, if one is to be granted, for he shall put it to good use. He seems still to believe in ye, to some extent at least. Thus shall we do the same, for now, and honour thy traditions. Soon she has finished paying her respects. As you prepare to continue your ascent, you sense that Lou Sklorian has shown her favour. Plus 2 presents for her, that's going to be really, really useful in the liberation rite. Seeing she's obviously going to be participating. You and your fellow exiles gather at the foot of the Scribe's Gate, before the archway carved of stone where stands the Gate Guardian. Greetings to you, Celeste. I see the exiles of the Nightwings have returned, even as the cycle of rites begins to draw to a close. The Nightwings accept this as the will of the scribes. The Gate Guardian laughs at this softly for some reason. And you, Tariq, do you accept their will as well? But the lone minstrel does not answer her. It is no matter. Now, Nightwings, each of you come forth and state what it is you seek whilst crossing Scribe's Gate. One by one, the Nightwings declare themselves. You all pass through as before. When Volfred takes his turn, Celeste stops him. You. I see you wear the raiments once again. Explain. The cycle of rites is ending. While I do not know exactly why, I have my fears. One of my contemporaries, he who fell from the summit long ago, he lives and seeks his liberty again. He stands against us now and believes his triumvirate to be the true Nightwings. I remember well the contemporary whom you mean. Then the Nightwings stand divided. Yes, and so I wear the raiments once again, in case that I may help to right this wrong. For I am Volfred Sandalwood, and I seek liberty for each of us, so that one day, we all might stand shoulder to shoulder on the other side, and bring our freedom to the people there. She considers Volfred's word for a moment. I see then. Move along. The Guardian of Scribes Gate regards you all, and then she beckons you onward. The 8 scribes bid the Nightwings welcome. Go forth with glory. Celeste? What is it, Tariq? The will of the scribes. Long have we both followed it. I think you would agree. In equal measure it has drawn us close, as separated us. But if their aim is now to keep us apart for another age or longer, then... No, I do not accept their will. You blaspheme, Tariq, and at the gate no less. But the lone minstrel simply puts his hat back on. Then may the scribes themselves admonish me. Until tomorrow night, Celeste. Here we go. Fuck, we better win this one. This is gonna be an important one. We can't afford to lose. Hopefully we can send Hedwyn home. Having reached the peak of Mount Elodiel again, you see the vastness of the downside all around you. It leaves you deep in thought regarding which of your companions ought to go free this night, as Ruki did last time. Alright, who's going to talk to us? Volfred. Volfred looks up at you as you approach and smiles. I never thought I would say such things, my boy, but it is good to wear the raiments and the rights once more. The march of time does have a way of healing certain hurts. Besides, the Nightwings of today, we are a very different beast than the triumvirate which took me in almost a decade ago. Ours was a triumvirate of exactly 3, well, 4 with Tizo, who proved to be an exception, though historically the Nightwings never took on more exiles than needed. I have mentioned my predecessor Brighton and my former companions Arisa and Aurelek. Perhaps naively I had hoped in my time with them would not be relevant directly to what we now attempt. But seeing as our stories are now intertwined, do let me know if there is more you wish to learn of them. I suppose we should learn about Aurelek. You ask about what Aurelek was like when he and Volfred first became acquainted. Volfred remained silent for some time. I was very, very sick, you know, when I first landed in the downside. The long trip down the river must have been a little much for me. It was Aurelek who found me. He could not have known of my capacity to read before he revived me. He was a physician, intolerant of the sight of suffering of any kind. Not just any physician, mind you. A gifted, highly decorated one. He served on the front. Back then, skirmishes erupted frequently, and those, such as Aurelek, they had to deal with many casualties on either side. In time, he said he grew repulsed by what he saw. This sowed in his heart a yearning for an end to all the bloodshed, so he tried to use his status to negotiate a treaty with the High-Wing remnants. It must have gone about how you'd expect. He was given direct orders to return to the front, but when he refused to soil his hands again, they cast him to the downside. Here he gained the notice of the Nightwings, and before long he grew to be one of the finest rite conductors anyone had ever seen. He was instrumental in the liberation of his companions, whose roles in the Triumvirate were later filled by Arisa and me. In time, Aurelek's own opportunity for freedom had come up. He longed for it, so that, with his exalted status, he might stand a better chance of negotiating peace. However, on the evening of his liberation, well, you know the story from that point. Volfred breathes a heavy sigh. He and I were kindred spirits for a while. I could not bear to think that he was gone, and now, I simply cannot entirely believe that he is back. He is our adversary now, transformed, grown cold. Still part of me is happy that he lives. Make no mistake, of course, I shall not be swayed against our plan, not by Aurelek or anyone. As I have said before, we share a higher calling now. As for Aurelek, he wants his freedom still, although I wonder if he still remembers why. Anyway, was there something else, my boy? Arisa? You ask about Arisa, who you understand betrayed Aurelek at the moment of his liberation, but then perished in the Shimmer Pool. I'm afraid you know the brunt of it, my boy, but I suppose you ought to know something of Arisa's past, lest you be quick to judge her solely by her actions. Mind you, I would never make excuses for the terrible choice she ultimately made, but her life, I understand, was very difficult. Arisa had been exiled for the foulest of acts. You could see it plainly branded on her face. Such was the heinousness of what she did in the eyes of the Commonwealth. She was an apprentice blacksmith in her youth, taking up the post left by her brother. He had fallen in battle on the blood border, despite wielding their father's own lance and armor. Her father never quite recovered after this, and grown cruel and detached. It was Arisa who took the brunt of his fury. He expected the impossible of her. One day it was all too much for her, so when next he lashed out at her, she struck back. She struck back again and again and again. When they came for her, her father was gone, and she was not herself. She was promptly cast into the downside for her crime, where her hatred for the Commonwealth only grew. Arisa was always intense in her demeanor, haunted by her father's memory. More than that, her chief motive for wanting back her freedom was, in hindsight, not a healthy one. She longed to join our nation's enemies, to build for the High-Wing remnants a great siege engine that could shatter the defenses of the Commonwealth and forever end our feud. What she ultimately did to Aurelek, it was an act of pure and thoughtless desperation. I do not think it was simply evil, nor do I think it was personal. I often wondered, though, if in her final moments in the Shimmer Pool she understood what she had done and the depths to which she had fallen. For years, I must admit I hated her, but now my only hope is that she found a peace untenable during her relatively short life in the downside and the Commonwealth. Furthermore, I hope the life of Arisa offers some perspective yet to those of us who have not made the same mistakes. Now then, was there something else? Brighton. You inquire about Brighton, who you understand was a liberated prior to when Volfred first joined the Nightwings. I never met Brighton in person, but I know him rather well by now. Though, for that matter, my boy, so do you. He studies your reaction for a moment then. Brighton was born wealthy, but not special otherwise. You would have no reason to have heard of him. He was exiled for negligent misconduct. I do not know exactly why, and do not care for spreading rumors. I first heard of him through Arisa and Aurelek, who found me a suitable replacement following his liberation. They spoke little of him. Aurelek gave the impression they didn't see eye to eye, but he assured me that I would soon hear from him myself. Indeed, as I became accustomed to the book, which you know by now, I soon began to hear the voice. Volfred looks at you, as if to see if you yet take his meaning. So the voice is that guy, Brighton. You see, my boy, after Brighton's liberation, he assumed a new identity within the Commonwealth, and a new responsibility to the Triumvirate, which liberated him. That voice you hear from time to time, whensoever the stars align, it's his. He is no longer Brighton. He is now none other than the Archjustice Androbellus IX himself. Liberated exiles retain certain burdens to their old triumvirates. They have much to thank them for. Not just their freedom, but their exalted status in the Commonwealth. The theocratic rulers of the Commonwealth, they do not wear masks and raiment simply for the sake of ceremony. They are not who they appear to be. Their public pasts are nothing but a fabrication like Brighton. They once were exiles too. Brighton, that voice, he has no love for either one of us by now. He knows full well what we attempt to do, yet he is bound by the traditions of the rites. He shall always stand on ceremony and complain, but I think he knows deep down that he is powerless. How ironic that one of such high status in the Commonwealth should be so frightened of some long-forgotten exiles such as we. Anyway, that's Brighton for you. He must have seen in you the potential to be one of his staunch supporters for a time. If that's a path you'd wanted to pursue, I should apologize. Now then, whom else should we talk about? That's all. You bid Volfred a good afternoon and leave him with his memories. My pleasure, reader. Reflecting on the past from time to time helps demonstrate how far we've come, yet how much farther we have yet to go. Okay, that took fucking ages, so we're actually gonna... I know I said we'll do it, but we're gonna wrap this episode up. And we will come back for the liberation right in the next episode. I am sorry, but Jesus fucking Christ. That lasted forever. Recovers up to 50% of the damage dealt. That's really good. Is that a cursed one as well? No, it isn't. Do we buy these Stardust? Eh. I don't think it really matters. Alright, we're gonna wrap this one up and we'll come do the Liberation Rite in the next one. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me and I'll see you in the next one.